Coach. We'll open up to a statement first, and then we'll do questions.
What a day. Just opened up college basketball season today. We were watching some of the early games and just kind of chomping at the bit to get on the court. And I'm just extremely proud of our team just for showing up, ready to go. There was a great energy in our building. I thought our first group really set the tone with our defense and then getting out in transition. And then obviously a ton of positive moments throughout the night.
All right, we'll start in the back with Brooke.
Congrats on the first win, Coach.
Thank you.
We saw a lot of different rotations of players tonight. Were you just trying to get a feel of maybe what could work as you guys move forward, or did you want highlights of everybody tonight?
Well, obviously we got off to a big lead in that first quarter. One of the things with this team, as we've talked about every day in practice, that people are fighting for time and minutes, and there's a competitiveness about our young players. There's obviously some vets and new roles, and so I just felt really good about today where we had at different points a ton of people stepping up. Even when we had a little bit of a lull in the third quarter, I thought when we subbed and Mackie and Samaya went in, for example, I thought they brought the defensive tenacity and, turned Wilmington over a little bit. So that's what we're looking for, different rotations, adding different things based on the game. And so the more people we can have contribute, the better we'll be.
Go to the left to Zach.
Hi, Coach. Congrats on the win.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you about Matilda Eke, obviously the vet from last year. She had 18 points, 9 rebounds, and 4 assists. Obviously, she's in a new role in the offense. Last year, she was more of a shooter, but now she's kind of taken over a point guard-esque position. What did you think of her play and how she kind of controlled the team and on the court?
I think Matilda has been awesome for us. We challenged her, this summer that she was going to need to expand her role. Expand her game a little bit more, and she was really excited to hear that. Obviously she's a tremendous shooter, but she's getting to more of that pro style, 3 levels. She can get to her pull-up, she can shoot her 3, and then she's got a great IQ of figuring out angles to score inside, and that's kind of a coach's dream to be able to move her in different places. So I thought she got off to a great start today. I think the thing that we just appreciate so much about Matilda is her leadership in the senior year, her steadiness, her voice. She's a little bit more maybe of a quiet kid, but she understands the task ahead for her in the senior year, and so she's just been a nice calming force for us, and I'm just proud of the way she continues to get out of her comfort zone and improve every day.
And we'll go back to the right to Nels.
Coach, staying on the topic of Matilda, before you came in, she talked very highly about the pace of play and the aggressiveness that you guys have instilled on the team so far. Through these first 2 games and after tonight, are you happy with what you're seeing about it, the aggressiveness and the pace of play, or do you still want some improvement in that area at all?
I just think with this team, I just want them to be confident. I want them to play free. Sometimes that means obviously getting up and down the floor fast and sharing the ball and being high tempo. And there's going to be times where you really have to escort your half-court offense. So we're finding that balance. Obviously at home, when the crowd's behind us, you want that fun style of play, getting up and down. So I think it's going to be a little bit of just taking the temperature of what's going on. I'm also a big believer historically of you got to win with your defense and your rebounding. And as our players move into these new roles and gain confidence, the offense will be up and down. There'll be some great moments. There'll be some, it's funny, first time in this crowd, somebody misses a layup or turns it over, you hear the, oh. So, just kind of moments like that you got to shake off and keep pushing forward. So I like our pace right now. But again, I think we're going to be a team that has to understand when to go and when to slow down at times as well.
And then Mackenzie Nelson with 22 minutes. That's she's kind of the first option off of the bench. 4 steals as well. She's very much up in everybody's business tonight, trying to get the ball. Overall, what did you think of her performance and her first big game with the bench?
I thought Mackie was great. A huge spark for us off the bench. When you redshirt a year, you're just so eager to get out there and get minutes. And what Mackie did today was what she does in practice every day. She leads our kind of stat board of all the little things, right? The deflections, the steals, getting people shots. She can get downhill. She can shoot the open jumper. So I thought, what you saw today is what she's been showing us. And, she's kind of that little energizer bunny. And, her along with Samaya are 2 players that, are constantly, as the experience, increases, I think their games are going to, obviously keep improving.
Stay in that row, Tucker.
Coach, last year Tech never surpassed 40 points in the paint in a single game. Tonight you had 68. What do you like about this new identity this team is establishing?
I mean, points in the paint are awesome. I look at it every time I can, even in practice. So you want paint touches, and there's so many different ways you can get paint touches and paint scores, and you want to have a high percentage of that. Even oftentimes you can get your threes off of paint scores and paint touches. So that's a stat we'll be looking at. Obviously, we did a really good job today against Wilmington, and I think our balance helps with that. I think, like we mentioned in the past, we're not going to be, somebody that, kid's going to shoot 25 times or 30 times. We're going to be balanced with this group, and I think that is only helping us with those paint scores and paint touches.
On the left side, Tim.
Obviously, Kalee Peterson, lots of talk about her tonight. 12 points, 3 rebounds. What do you like about her performance and how she can impact this team as a freshman?
You just never know when the freshmen go in, how they're feeling, nervous, excited. And, if you watch Kale's expression, she's pretty steady, never looks too high or too low about anything. And I think she's just been a great piece off our bench to start here earlier in the season. She's poised, she's skilled. As a freshman, you have to understand what's going on the court, and she does that at a very high level already. So I'm just proud of her. Her dad surprised her coming into town to watch the game, so that was a big boost along with her grandpa. And I think with her and Karis, sharing those minutes, it's a pretty special group between those two.
And then 10 steals, 23 points off turnovers. What did you like about the defensive intensity for this team?
Yeah, I mean, they got points off our turnovers too, so that was kind of the stat that was a little bit almost even. But, we turned them over a little bit and scored off of it, and then they did the same. So that stat kind of negated a little bit in my mind. But, I thought our effort overall was really good. I thought we only had one really kind of rough stretch that beginning of the third quarter where we were just a little bit flat, and that's kind of what you're looking at in these early games of what little moments do you kind of dip, what's the why, how do you work on it in practice this week. There's going to be so many different moments like that as we look at different lineups too. That's part of the early season for sure.
Back on the right, David.
You guys jump out to that 7-0 lead in a minute, and they call timeout. What'd you like about the way you guys kind of punched first and kind of got them off balance a little bit?
I think that's the greatest part with coaching. Like, you got your 18 to 22-year-olds, and you want to get off to a great start in the first game, and couldn't have scripted it any better. And for them to call an early timeout, there's great energy from the bench, and I think the big thing is just trying to keep that momentum going in that first quarter. But I was very proud of their start, and you never know in the first game what it's going to be like.
On the left with Mark.
After changing jobs and the busy 7 months you've had, what does it mean to you to have your first victory as Virginia Tech's coach?
Yeah, I'm just extremely grateful. Whit came in the locker room and presented me already with a ball for my first win, and to have Dr. Sands, President Sands, with us in the locker room too was a special moment. But I still think it's one win, but I'm just so happy for our players, and I'm happy for their moment today and being able to get off to a good start. Just to kind of get this college basketball season rolling. We have a ton of tough games ahead, but it's weird because it's been 7 months, it's flown by, and then some days are like, whew, we got a lot going on. So it was almost hard to believe, like, wow, the first game's here already. It's what we've been dreaming and hoping and preparing for, but it kind of snuck up on us a little bit too because we've been so in the grind of building our program and laying the foundation of what we want to do for years to come. So it feels good to get the first one. I always honor my dad, who was diagnosed with early onset dementia and Alzheimer's, and he always had this kind of funny saying, and we would joke about it, and he would say, "You can't win them all unless you win the first one." And obviously, we're gonna lose a few games this year, and we'll win a bunch too. But just to kind of keep him in the back of my mind and heart of, he was one of my biggest fans, and so just thinking about him on this first great day here in Castle.
And obviously, game number 2 figures to be more of a challenge for you
Yeah.
than game number 1 was. Did you see kind of exactly what you wanted to see from your team to, get this kind of performance under your belt heading into the big game on Sunday?
Yeah, I think we were taking obviously one game at a time and focusing on Wilmington, and now we have kind of the week to shift our gears to the Allied Tip-Off Classic. Thrilled to be a part of it. I mean, what a great tournament to be able to play Iowa, and then you got NC State and South Carolina before us. So it's going to be, I think an incredible crowd, a big stage for women's basketball, and Iowa's a really, really good team. I've, being back in the Midwest at my previous spot at Marquette, I got to know a lot of, those players through recruiting and just watching them. And, I think people think just because Caitlin Clark is, has moved on to the league that, they'll be down a little bit. But I think they're really good and really talented, and Jan's going to do a tremendous job for them. So it'll be a great early non-conference test for us. That's what you want, to get your kind of young team battle tested and get on kind of a neutral floor. I know Hokie Nation will be coming down to see us, and so it'll be exciting. But we're going to take tomorrow off, and then obviously get focused on what the Hawkeyes are going to do.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you being here.